Did you see the presidential press conference yesterday? It was really...
Oh, I missed it. Damn. I love that. I set my DVR too. He is so good. Fantastic.
You love to watch him. You love to hear him. His soaring rhetoric.
We've decided to call him now Amoeba Man. He's not here to, he's not here to reproduce, and he's also not here to produce. There's no production or reproduction involved. He's just fixing problems through dividing. Amoeba Man. All he does is divide. Anyway, so
he'll probably be on later today. You can set your DVR right now if you want to.
Oh, Amoeba Man
will do that. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Anyway, so what did Amoeba Man say?
For half an hour? The press conference must have gone on half an hour,
on and on,
35 minutes, and Benghazi and all the topics, and then
and hang on. In Benghazi, he says, "I'm not aware of anybody."
I'm not familiar with this notion that anybody's been blocked from testifying.
This is the biggest lie you've ever heard in your life. He's
ridiculous.
Not aware. Well, then, Mr. President, you ought to be aware. Yeah. You ought to go back into your little room where you have your golf clubs, and you say, hey, by the way, while I'm out here on the links, will somebody just tell me about what they're talking about, this Benghazi guy? I heard he worked at Walmart. What about him? And there's some people that want to testify and tell Congress the truth, but we're threatening them with jail time and 20 years behind bars. Can somebody tell me if that's true or not? He's not familiar with that notion.
No.
All right, so anyway.
So then he concludes the press conference, starts walking off, and then stops dead in his tracks, turns around. And the reporters, the anchor, was even saying, well, the president's walking off now. And, hold on. And he comes back to the microphone. I don't know if I've ever seen this in a press conference before. And he says, now, wait, I do want to talk about Jason Collins, who is the NBA basketball player who just came out that he's homosexual.
Oh, God.
So he...
Can I say something? Why is this a big deal?
I know. I mean,
has anybody seen the United States volleyball team? Has anybody seen the LPGA? Anybody seen that? I mean, I have. I'm not really a sports person. I'm pretty sure
there's some homosexuals on the team.
Homosexuals. We're always told there's homosexuals everywhere.
In every walk
of life. Why is this a big deal?
He's the first male current player in a major sport.
So golf is not a major sport.
So golf, there's never been a male come out in golf to say that he's homosexual. So he's breaking some ground here.
The first male named Steve.
Yes, and that will happen.
And it will happen.
And it'll
be a big deal.
So he found it important enough to come back and address it. And not only that, he called him, as he does with all heroes, I guess. Well, some heroes. He called him to tell him that he couldn't be any prouder of him. And I guess he's proud that he sleeps with men instead of women. I mean, frankly, I don't care what he does in his spare time. It doesn't matter to me in any way. Not really, no. Not that great a player. He's averaged, I think, 3 points a game for his entire career of 12 years.
More than I could do.
Yes.
Lot more than the president can do.
But here's the thing. I couldn't help thinking, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought this. You said nothing about Chris Kyle. Not one word about a true American hero.
We should find out
from his wife.
We should call his wife and find out.
Did he call the family?
Did he call the family?
Because he didn't mention him publicly.
No,
I know that.
No,
he didn't say word one about him at a press conference or anywhere else.
Nothing.
Didn't go to the funeral.
No.
Didn't do any of those things. He certainly hasn't talked about any of the courageous people who've come out about Benghazi and said, hey, by the way, there's something not right here. And yes, they could have been there in time to help and to save lives. He hasn't said, hey, I want to thank the courageous people who were on the ground in Benghazi and have come forward, because that's really hard to do. I'm making it extremely difficult on them because they probably fear for their very careers, if not their lives. So I wanted to say how proud I am of them. Haven't heard him do any of that. I didn't hear him stop, wheel around, and come back and say, oh, by the way, this 7.8% or 8% unemployment rate is unacceptable, and I'm still working on it.
In fact, that the unemployment rate is so underreported, so non-important, apparently to all Americans, that Pat, who does this for a living, is like 7.8 or 8%.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
Don't even know what it is anymore.
Yeah,
we have 8% of our people unemployed.
And we talk about it so little, we don't even know the actual rate.
And that doesn't include all those who have literally just given up and said, I'm just going to take disability because I'll never get a job again. We're looking at a number of Americans that may never work again because they have gotten out of the workforce. But he didn't turn around and say, now I'm starting to get all... He didn't turn around and say, I want you to know this is obscene. I want you to know that this unemployment rate is obscene,
and I couldn't be more ashamed of it.
He turns around and says, "Hey, I had to call a washed-up basketball player to tell him I'm happy that you came out and said who you sleep with." Oh my gosh,
it's crazy.
Thank you for bringing that to the table, Pat.
You're welcome.